Oke, oke. Oke, makasih juga Lucia untuk bantuannya. Sore ini ada sesi khusus dengan Miss Rosalinda, ya. Setelah sesi yang pertama, ini kecapnya pindahin dulu. Setelah sesi yang pertama, bagaimana dia menceritakan nanti, Miss Rosalinda would like to share as the first session for the first 10 minutes how she affected and how it's about survive. The first session 10 or 15 minutes is depend on Miss Rosa survive. Then the next session, the second session is about how to recovery. Ya, recovery pasca Covid-19. Nah, Lucia akan menerjemahkan, bukan interpreter, akan menerjemahkan sentence by sentence. Ya, halo Miss Rosa.
Good evening.
Selamat sore. Okay. The first session, because there are so many people didn't know you, the story, so I think it's a good idea for the first 10 minutes, you can share your experience, your real experience when you survive and win with the COVID. Then the next session, you can share how to recover, strategy, the mindset, the value you have, whatever. We would like to know more detail. Now we have Lucia to translate sentence by sentence. Okay. Rosalinda, it's your time now. Please.
Okay, so Lucia, thank you very much for helping us.
My pleasure.
The background is simple. I had COVID in March 2020, last year. It was very serious, and that's a correct statement. I survived, because that's the feeling, survival.
Oke, latar belakang Miss Rosalinda, dia mendapatkan COVID Maret 20 tahun 2020. Dia adalah salah satu survivalnya yang bertahan.
So my experience was an illness that nobody had any idea about. It was a year ago in the beginning, March 11th, in fact. Or March 13th, excuse me. So we had a lockdown just 2 days before. So Spain, I was in Spain, and it was a very, very serious lockdown, similar to what you have now. It was a military lockdown.
Jadi tanggal 11 Maret dia benar-benar baru ya COVID-nya, jadi dia tidak tahu apa-apa tentang COVID ini, dan kejadiannya di Spanyol itu sedang serius lockdown seperti yang sekarang di Indonesia.
So I was obligated to be in isolation, and in case I was absolutely alone in that isolation. So I had to do everything myself. And the first 6 weeks was what I discussed in the last series. And this time I would like to talk about the recovery, which takes time and is different. I would say it's in 2 or 3 stages.
Jadi dia waktu itu benar-benar sendiri, dan dia sekarang akan berbicara tentang pemulihannya. Okay.
So the first part of my experience was the illness, which was changing constantly because it's a virus. and going to all different organs and parts of your body. And that was definitely difficult to deal with, but it was like having several illnesses at once. So it kept changing. You had to change and adapt with it until my lungs were, the brain was the last, and that was very hard, and the lungs. So that's when it was very difficult mentally. The fatigue was hard, but when it came to the point of 3 weeks in, my lungs were not working well, and I really had to change my strategy. But I avoided the hospital. So it was a clear mindset to be adapting, watching, understanding your body, and being in tune.
Wow, it's a little bit too long. I hope I can remember. Jadi yang pertama waktu dia sakit, memang selalu ada perubahan, jadi sangat susah untuk mengatasinya, tapi dia harus beradaptasi karena yang dialaminya paru-parunya sakit dan sebagainya, dia harus mengatasi dengan pikiran yang jernih. Okay.
That's correct. I can feel your translation is fine. Take a note, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's the mindset is flexibility and awareness in the beginning. I think that's very important.
Jadi yang pertama kita harus berpikir fleksibel dan kesadaran ya, awareness, kesadaran.
So if you have training about body awareness, I mean, understanding your body and how much you can do, what's happening in your body, then that's good training to have. And if you don't have it, you can have a very short course intensively with COVID.
Oke, kalau jadi kita harus berlatih badan kita harus mencoba mengerti badan kita. Jika tidak, maka akan mengalami kesusahan.
So today, or this evening, excuse me, I was asked to speak about recovery because that is a major part of COVID, which people are not aware of. The recovery is important.
Jadi pada kali ini, Miss Rosalinda akan berbicara tentang tahap penyembuhan.
So may I ask in the audience, is anybody listening who has COVID now or has had it recently? When I say recently, they're in there maybe 6 weeks or 5 weeks. Is anybody in the audience in that category and have a question?
Adakah yang di sini yang pernah mengalami sakit COVID atau yang sedang sakit COVID? Atau yang baru saja sembuh dari COVID? Ada?
Family members in that category? Anybody have family members?
Mungkin ada familinya, relatif. Dari Miss Yasani, she haven't got yet. Just want to prevent now.
So is
Anyone
this group,
else?
the group wants prevention ideas? Is that, am I correct, or other ideas? Prevention?
Prevention untuk mencegah. Johnny, he just recovered. And Justia, she said that I've got the symptom like I couldn't smell anything.
And somebody cannot hear clearly. I apologize.
Oh yeah, sorry, maybe I need to.
I'm not sure. Can't hear me, Rosalinda or Lucia?
So, can you hear my voice? Ada yang nggak bisa mendengar suara saya? Di sini Yeni, She's in a recovery stage. From Miss Viva.
Your brother recovered. Okay, so let me define. I'm seeing the chat. I see people have 10. Is that 10 days? Saya pernah tahu lalu bulan 10.
In a year, October, yeah. Last year in October.
Last year in October. Oh, 6 months. Okay, more than 6 months. Okay, so I see various scenarios. I see various scenarios to talk about. We have 10 more than like 10 months. We have just finished. No? Minggu, is that 6 days? Anak dan istri 6 minggu lalu.
Minggu last week. Minggu lalu is last week.
Last week. 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with the word recovery. So somebody said my brother just recovered. So that idea of recovery is something I think I want to define.
Jadi Miss Rosalinda di sini akan mendefinisikan tahap recovery, tahap penyembuhan.
So full recovery is I feel great and don't have any fatigue. My stomach is fine. I'm eating. My muscles are fine. I'm better than before maybe, or I don't have any problems. That's recovery, full recovery.
Jadi arti full recovery, total kesembuhan adalah merasakan sangat baik ya, tidak ada kelelahan maupun nyeri otot dan nafsu makan bagus ya.
Or my lungs, my heart, I do cardiovascular, I do exercise, I don't have any problems. That's full recovery.
Jadi paru-parunya, jantungnya tidak ada masalah. Itu artinya total kesembuhan.
Okay, so testing negative is not recovered.
Negative test itu bukan berarti sembuh.
Because COVID is a virus.
Karena COVID adalah virus.
And as it goes through the body, it's going to attack different organs and your blood.
COVID itu masuk ke dalam badan kita dan organ kita, juga darah kita.
So right after you're feeling like maybe 6 weeks, you're feeling, or 3 weeks, something, the immune system from COVID is starting to work. You're starting to feel better. You can walk, you can move. You're breathing better. Maybe you don't have oxygen. That's now the beginning of your recovery.
Setelah 3 minggu, kamu akan merasakan what was that? Kamu.
At about 3 weeks or 2 weeks, COVID immune cells, they start working. It takes about 2 weeks for the immune system to attack COVID. So you don't have immunity until minimum 2 weeks.
Jadi sekitar 2 mingguan antibodi kita akan bekerja untuk melawan COVID itu. I think.
So then we come to the next part, which is starting your immune system is fighting, and you can go to 6 weeks, and finally you feel, oh, okay, I think I'm getting over COVID. That's a feeling at 6 weeks.
Jadi next part setelahnya itu body kita tuh akan berperang. Nah, total recovery-nya sekitar 6 minggu ya.
It's not total, it's the beginning.
Oh, the beginning, permulaan. Oke.
Yeah, it's just your body has been fighting the COVID, but now your organs are weak. So we have to recover our organs, functions.
Jadi setelah badan kita berperang, antibodi kita berperang, organ kita itu lemah. Jadi kita butuh untuk melatih kesembuhannya.
So it's like a car accident. The car, maybe mechanically, you can fix the inside and the mechanics are starting to work. But the outside, you have to paint it. You have many things to do to make a new car after an accident.
Jadi seperti kecelakaan mobil, kita juga harus mekanik memperbaiki dalamnya, tapi kita juga harus memperbaiki luarnya juga.
So each organ is like a part of the car.
Jadi setiap organ itu seperti tiap dalamnya mobil itu.
So when we think about the different organs and the blood, really the liver is the beginning of, the liver is easier to recover than most organs.
Jadi kalau kita melihat organ tubuh kita, liver itu hati ya. Hati itu dia lebih mudah untuk sembuh.
Because it rejuvenates faster the tissue in the liver if you're careful.
Jadi hati itu dia bisa menjadi mudah tisu-tisunya jika Anda hati-hati.
So that's the main focus of this talk, is each organ is delicate after COVID. So we have to be very delicate with how we go on with our life.
Jadi pada tahap ini tiap organ itu sangat ringkih ya. Jadi kita harus berhati-hati. Jadi ini yang terpenting tahap recovery ini.
So for the liver, for example, we want to be careful with the heavy grease, because grease and fatty foods, the liver, it's very difficult for the liver to process and clean the blood when there's fat in the because it goes through the intestine. So we need to have a very low fat diet, which is oils and meat, red meat. You have to be very careful.
Jadi liver, hati kita harus memperlakukannya dengan hati-hati karena yang berbahaya itu dari makanan, misalnya lemak, dari minyak, dan fat itu ya, lemak ya. Jadi mereka membersihkan darah, fungsi hati itu.
So I think your traditional, even your Western medical ideas about how to take care of your liver, you should take those seriously. So just take that seriously. And second is the opposite is the lungs. It's a complete opposite. So if we go slow with the liver and be very careful, the lungs can recover with a faster and more activity is how the lungs recover.
Jadi paru-paru kita bisa sembuh dengan cepat, tapi yang pertama itu liver ya, harus ditangani dengan serius.
So that's surprising when you're feeling the lungs are delicate and you feel, I don't want to do any exercise, I feel delicate. But because COVID can be it's in the lungs, when it attacks the lungs, it can hide there. So that is why we want to do exercises to make sure we get it out.
Jadi mengherankan kalau paru-paru kita itu ringkih dan COVID itu dia bisa bersembunyi di dalam paru-paru. Makanya kita harus berolahraga ya, exercise untuk dalam penyembuhan ini ya.
So that was my problem in my mind because I felt weak for 6 weeks. I, was walking very slow. Couldn't move my arms. So I was very scared to do too much exercise.
Jadi itu adalah masalahnya dia, problemnya dia. Jadi dia harus jalan pelan-pelan. Dia takut untuk berolahraga.
So I had problems walking because I had COVID attacked all of my muscle mass. So the exercise for the lungs was not the normal exercise.
Jadi target COVID ini dia menyerang ototnya juga.
So I did exercises that were just focused on the lungs.
Jadi dia hanya berkonsentrasi ke paru-parunya.
And that was very important in the beginning.
Itu sangat penting pada tahap awal.
So it's funny because you think, no, I can't. Your lungs, you feel really delicate, but you have to push it. You have to be really pushing those lungs to work harder and push out. So it was a breathing technique to really get it out, to push out. And so it was between the lungs and the heart working together. And not the arms and not the legs. It really was all lungs.
Jadi pada saat yang pertama ya, dia berpikir lucu karena dia harus konsentrasi kepada paru-parunya, bukan tangannya, bukan ototnya, tapi paru-parunya untuk bisa bernafas. Like that.
This was a yoga technique with breathing, but you can use a Chinese technique, you can use a Tai Chi, any technique that is more based on the lungs breathing than the movement of legs and arms, because you won't have the strength maybe.
Jadi ini yoga teknik untuk bernafas. Kamu boleh menggunakan Chinese teknik dan sebagainya.
Or Western, some technique with Western, just a breathing. So you just using that opening, closing, and not worrying about like running, walking, bicycle, swimming, not in the beginning.
Jadi boleh juga cara barat untuk bernafas, hanya untuk buka tutup mungkin inhale, exhale ya. Tapi bukan untuk bersepeda atau berlari.
So that was surprising to me.
Itu sangat mengherankan buat dia.
Because the hospitals, I didn't go to the hospital, but my doctor was telling me things about move your arms, move your legs, because I was in the bed too long. So that's a natural recovery for people in bed, but not for lungs.
Iya, jadi Miss Rosalinda tidak masuk ke rumah sakit, jadi dia hanya di tempat tidur, makanya dia menggerakkan tangan, kaki, semuanya diranjang.
So that's the techniques that I use from my yoga teacher. I'm very grateful to my yoga teacher, Master DR.Rosalinda, because he pushed me very hard to concentrate on the lungs. And I don't think I would have without that guidance.
Jadi itu adalah yoga teknik yang diajarkan oleh master yoganya yang dipraktekkan oleh Miss Rosalinda ya.
So Then I was doing the bicycle because I couldn't walk.
Dia menggunakan sepeda karena dia tidak bisa berjalan.
So if you have problems walking because you don't have the muscles in your legs, just try the bicycle. It's easier.
Ya, jadi kalau Anda punya masalah dengan otot kaki, jadi Anda bisa mencoba bersepeda dulu.
That's much easier.
Iya, itu lebih mudah.
Okay, so that part, I'm looking at some of the questions. May I answer other questions? I see some questions there.
Sure.
Lucia, maybe you want to translate some questions I didn't answer?
Which one ya?
I don't know.
Oh ya.
Or Krishna, do you have a guidance here?
Good. He has from Yuli Puji. She has the symptom, but it's not the same. Not the same. Tapi tidak saya cek. But he didn't check it. And then from Mr. Joni, she got COVID from 3rd of July, and 15th July he's already recovered.
Not recovered, okay?
Yeah.
Let's not say that.
Yeah, maybe she just feel well.
Good. Yes, feeling better.
From BDW, he said yes, it's good because it doesn't have any problem. Now he already be able to work again. And then from Jong Kong Jin, my daughter and wife recovery in good progress because we have the COVID in very early stage. Thanks God. And then from Eka Christian, how about the condition in Spain now? Is the COVID-19 has been under control?
Okay, so the people who go back to work very quickly, you have to be very careful because your body, just be careful and make sure that you don't have stress because that's going to push your liver and your kidneys. And you need to concentrate on recovering your blood to make sure your blood is clean and your immune system is building, to build the immune system again, because you can get COVID again. We know that now.
Yeah.
So it's not always perfect, your immune system after one COVID case.
Oke, jadi hati-hati kalau balik ke tempat kerja, jangan stres karena itu dapat mempengaruhi ginjal dan darah yang ada di ginjal. Dan kita tahu bahwa COVID bisa menyerang untuk yang kedua kalinya.
So that's the mind. Well, let me say something else that I haven't said, that sometimes COVID can be traumatic. It's a kind of trauma, but victory. So it's a post-trauma euphoria, I would say, post-trauma euphoria, because you feel triumphant, but it is traumatic because, oh, we don't have a cure and it's everywhere and people die. So take that seriously sometimes. There is a post-trauma under your conscious. Maybe.
Jadi itu adalah COVID setelah post-trauma itu, jadi setelah trauma ya, ada euforia, kegembiraan setelahnya. Is that what you mean?
Yes, it's a new term. I discovered it with COVID. Like, I really was enthusiastic right after the 5 or 6 weeks because I felt triumph, euphoria. I did it. So that can be a little bit, you go too far. Like, that's it, I'm finished, or I'm recovered. See?
Jadi you feel confidence ya that you are winning.
Yes.
Oke,
yes.
Jadi ya, Miss Rosalinda merasa dia sangat gembira karena dia bisa mengalahkan COVID, dia menang atas COVID. Itu ya. Jadi itu yang harus diperhatikan ya.
Okay, I see the Spain question is we had extreme losses, very serious losses, and now after a year, the vaccine is universal. It's a free vaccine and has gone in age groups. So we're down to around the 20-year-olds, between 30 and 20 are now getting vaccinated.
Jadi dia mengatakan kalau kita mengalami hal yang sama, vaksin yang ada di sana ada 8 grup ya, dari umur 20 tahun.
So young people who are not vaccinated, I mean teenagers, are getting COVID at the moment.
Jadi sekarang teenagers itu umur yang belasan tahun sekarang mengalami sakit COVID.
And they can infect their parents, their grandparents, but it is people are vaccinated, but they can get sick again, even vaccinated, but it's not the hospitalization problem.
Jadi COVID ini bisa menyerang grandparent kakeknya, meskipun mereka yang sudah divaksin juga.
So that's the situation in Spain.
Jadi,
Delta has arrived in Spain too.
Delta juga sudah menyerang di Spanyol, not only in Indonesia ya.
Okay, so the vaccine after 3 months, I feel 2 to 3 days the same. Yes, when I had the vaccine, I had a nightmare like, oh, COVID again. Yes, it's a 24-hour, really, it's okay. I took Tylenol, I took paracetamol, so it's normal to feel, but I wasn't sick.
Yeah, that was you were answering Mr. Mahir ya.
Yes.
Okay.
The 10 months, I'm curious about the 10 months. How do they feel? They had COVID in October. How is that going? How is their recovery plan?
Tadi ada yang bicara waktu ada yang di sini kena sakit COVID bulan Oktober tahun lalu. Miss Rosalinda mau tanya bagaimana kondisi Anda.
Are they there? Who
Oh,
was that? That was BDW.
BDW, he left.
He left. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, but the long-term recovery, which I wanted to do on the next Zoom, was to talk about after maybe 2 or 3 months, because there's another plan, I think. Another question about how according to you about long COVID? Okay, yes. Yeah, the long COVID is because we don't pay attention to the recovery in the beginning. So it's not necessary to have long COVID. You can focus on your organs and really focus on all the organs to rejuvenate the stomach, especially the stomach.
Jadi COVID yang panjang itu karena kita tidak memperhatikannya pertama-tama. Jadi bisa sakitnya lebih lama. Jadi organ-organnya untuk memperbaruinya itu jadi lebih memakan waktu lebih lama.
Okay, so the cases of COVID can cause blood clots. So that's a symptom of COVID in general. And all the vaccines have had cases of people with blood clots and some deaths and COVID. That's how people die with COVID immediately. Is a blood clot, the heart stops, finished.
Jadi
so
kasus
blood
COVID
clots are COVID. So the vaccine has the COVID, genetics, so it's possible.
Jadi kasus COVID ini bisa menyebabkan pengentalan darah, terus dia bisa memblok, mempengaruhi jantung sehingga kita bisa meninggal.
I think everybody is different and they need to know their body. And if some people won't take the vaccine because they have some immune problems and they prefer to take a chance with COVID. So I understand that. I think that's valid. People with HIV positive, maybe people who had cancer, maybe. So there are people who are not, they prefer take a chance with COVID. So I understand.
Jadi setiap orang berbeda. Anda harus tahu badan Anda sendiri-sendiri. Jadi dia juga mengerti kalau ada orang yang tidak mau ikut vaksin karena ya tiap orang beda-beda. But I think when you didn't get vaccinated, you will get difficulties to travel.
Well, that can be a motivation. Jobs can be another motivation, but there are exceptions for people who have conditions that the vaccine is not good for them. But that's a doctor permission. That's very special.
Right, ya. Jadi kadang ada orang yang tidak mau divaksin karena mungkin dia mempunyai sakit bawaan yang dokter menyarankan untuk tidak vaksin.
But those are heart cases, like I said, cancer maybe. So those lupus, those are cases that the doctors have very clear exemptions in the world. It's a global standard.
Iya. Jadi ada beberapa penyakit seperti kanker dan penyakit lainnya, dokter tidak menyarankan untuk menerima vaksin karena mungkin takut ada jadi sakit yang lain. Itu adalah global standard.
The world is changing, so that's all I can say about the vaccine. And Spain is doing really well with the vaccine.
Yeah.
Older people, grandparents, people over 50. So that's the groups that are worried, and they took the vaccine right away. So, but I'm not here to promote the vaccine. Okay, I'm here to promote, be aware of your mind, your body, be positive.
Ya, jadi orang yang di atas umur 50 tahunan itu mereka berpikir, mereka takut ya, jadi mereka bervaksin langsung. Jadi kita harus berpikir positif.
Yeah, so if you're scared of the vaccine, scared of COVID, scared of everything, that's not good.
Ya, jadi kalau kamu takut vaksin, takut ini, jadinya stres sendiri ya.
So just relax. People were scared of the TV. People were scared of the computer, the radiation. It was true. It's true.
Jadi
scared of the mobile phone. That's true. The mobile phone has a lot of problems. See, I mean, there are a lot of things to be scared of.
Jadi banyak orang yang takut untuk nonton TV, untuk buka sosial media. Karena banyak cerita-cerita yang menakutkan.
I didn't have any personally, I didn't have any side effects of the vaccine. So there's a lot of media, a lot of news, but in Spain, it's 42 million people, the population. And right now, I think we have 30 million vaccinated. And we don't have extreme problems. We had a couple of problems in the beginning, but we don't have that kind of massive problems with the vaccine.
I see. So you were answering Eka Christian, yeah?
Yeah.
Are they side effect of vaccine? So menurut Ibu Rosalinda, ya untuk tahun pertamanya memang ada beberapa side effect, tapi di Spanyol sudah ada 30 juta orang yang divaksin, sekarang tidak terdengar ada kasus.
So right now in Spain, everybody's on vacation. They didn't travel internationally. People did not want to travel internationally, but they did travel all around Spain, and they're enjoying their life. And sometimes they wear masks in situations, and sometimes with their family, they are wearing masks in case the children are not vaccinated. But they're definitely having a better life now.
Great. So in Spain, di Spanyol sekarang orang-orang sudah mulai jalan-jalan, tapi tidak untuk ke luar negeri. Mereka ada yang memakai masker dan mereka hidupnya lebih senang sekarang.
Some cases had Barcelona did too many big events with no masks and like concerts, and then they had some problems.
Oh, Barcelona mereka ada event, konser yang besar, tapi sekarang mereka menghadapi problem yang besar.
And another province they did for young people, they had a summer camp and graduation parties, and then they had problems.
Jadi ada beberapa orang muda yang mereka ikut serta dalam summer camp, menjadi camping musim panas. Mereka mendapatkan problem juga, masalah.
This is the generation has no vaccine, the young people, and then they had parties together, and they got infected, and they came home with the infection, so they were in quarantine.
Jadi sekarang banyak orang muda yang jalan-jalan terus balik ke rumah sehingga mereka kena COVID dan sekarang mereka di karantina.
So from the other side, after 1 year, the pharmacies began to have products for recovery, but not chemical products. They were doing all these natural combinations to help people recover from COVID with natural ingredients. So things from natural fruits, and that was the newest thing I saw recently was finally the doctors and the medical community recognize you have to do something to boost your body, not just immune system. You have to boost all the body, all the organs.
Jadi dalam 1 tahun ini dalam bidang kedokteran mereka menemukan sesuatu yang natural untuk menyembuhkan badannya seperti buah-buahan dan sebagainya.
So the pharmacies are beginning to have like combination capsules, combinations, not just anything. So now Spain is focusing on how to recover from COVID with natural combinations.
Jadi kedokteran ini mereka mengkombinasikan kapsul yang berfokus untuk penyembuhan ya.
It took a long time for them to focus there.
Jadi ini memerlukan waktu yang lama untuk berkonsentrasi di sini.
So I wrote a book. I wrote the book about my experience, and I gave that book to my doctor and doctors so they could analyze how I went through COVID and how I was recovering.
Jadi Ibu Rosalinda menulis sebuah buku dan dia memberikan buku ini kepada dokter yang isinya pengalaman bagaimana dia waktu sakit dan tahap penyembuhan. Jadi dokter bisa menganalisanya.
So I noticed they didn't have a lot of information, and they did not guide people through the process, how to recover. That's why I wrote this book, and that's why I tried to do speakings for people.
Jadi Miss Rosalinda tahu bahwa tidak cukup informasi untuk dokter ketahui Oleh sebab itu, Ibu Rosalinda menulis buku ini.
Okay, Krishna, do you want to guide this talk in any direction? This last, I think we have about 10 minutes. Would you like to say anything? Thank you, Lucia.
Thank you, Ms. Rosalinda.
Beautiful.
Well,
More
I think
questions?
it's far from perfect though.
It's fine, it's perfect.
This is my first time to translate.
No problem. Krishna, are you there? No?
Saya lagi di jalan kayak.
Okay.
Can you answer this question first? So from Mr. Mahir, how do we get your book?
Well, I think the first YouTube, no, Tony, in YouTube, they put my name with the book and the link in the YouTube. So it's, if you use my name, Rosalinda Ruiz Scarfuto, Poets Journal. And I think this group has a YouTube channel. And in the first presentation, it's listed in the comments in Amazon and in Apple Books. So there's the link.
Ya, itu linknya bisa dicek di situ ya. Itu Mr. Krishna. There you go.
Halo Rosa.
It's in Apple Books too. So it's on Kindle and it's also Apple Books and a regular book. So you can have an electronic book. And hello, Krishna.
I'm in ashram now.
Yes, I'm coming later.
Okay, yeah.
So we have 10 minutes. Do you have anything to add, or Lucia?
Okay, yeah. Rosalinda, I would like to say sangat-sangat terima kasih for your time, for your heart, to share your real experience from the deep of my heart. We only can say thank you very much. And I think we still have another session to go deeply, more deeply. Many people would like to know, quote unquote, the secret of Rosalinda.
Oh, the
Yeah, the secret of Rosalinda, especially in yoga. But what I learned from you, persistent. That's one of the key I learned.
Yes.
Persistent. Yes, maybe in English I would like to call you train hard, but actually it's not about hard, because you do it yoga every morning. When I saw you every morning, I would like to change hard to be, you do it with love. That's maybe the good word in English. Lucia, terima kasih untuk waktunya, dan ini luar biasa. Yang pertama kali ya Lucia ya.
Iya, terima kasih juga. Wah, saya sempat nervous sih.
Saya orang yang nekat, jadi bayangin bahasa Inggris saya sepotong-sepotong aja saya berani gitu ya. Karena saya meyakini selama saya memahami seperti Rosalinda, dia share with heart, kita bisa feel the heart also.
Exactly.
Hati atau heart itu melampaui bahasa. Ini yang dari Rosa, teman-teman yang lain, ajak saudara-saudara yang lain untuk session berikutnya. Maybe the next session next week, Rosalinda akan share the more detail, the more deeply the experience. I would like to feel the experience deeply. Invite your friends.
That is true. There are secrets
Okay.
There are. So we'll start with the beginning of there's keys to the door.
Okay. Okay.
COVID is a door for some people, and for me it was a door. And there are secrets and there are treasures on the other side. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Jadi ada rahasia dan ada harta karun ya di
Yes.
sebelahnya.
Yes, exactly.
Mantap.
Dan Rosalinda experience make me fall in love with Master Ketut Arsana, which is our guru now. Rosalinda guru now. Rosalinda guru is my guru now. Oke, teman-teman,
Exactly.
terima kasih banyak. Nanti undang lagi teman-teman yang lain. And Rosalinda would like, dia feel happy to answer your question. Even the session is finished, just send your question to Lucia, kalau bahasa Inggris atau Lucia, untuk translate dulu ke Inggris. Kalau
ada satu question yang belum ini from Justia. May I ask what your opinion if some people it's around our family actually they still don't believe vaccine because there are some of cases here that they passed away after got vaccinated.
Well, people die from COVID. I almost died.
Yeah.
So vaccine, COVID, doesn't matter. We're in a time of you can die very easily, perhaps. So
Yeah.
that's a choice. That's really God. I don't know if that's the vaccine. So, I think that your spiritual culture is very present. We can't be really bigger than God. God is greater. And if we blame the vaccine, then we take God out of the picture. So,
Yeah.
so the opposite. Oh, I'm alive because I've been blessed. So any religion you have, I have to say that I was born a Christian. Jesus is very important in my life, and I did learn yoga techniques. And my yoga teacher he was a professor in religion, so he knows my religion, he knows Christian religion, he knows all religions. He's a teacher, so he knows that. But it doesn't make any difference, your religion. So in your heart, we are very small. The cosmos is very big. And so I don't know if we can say it's the vaccine. So when people die in any circumstance, a car accident, anything,
Right, exactly.
do we say it's the car? I don't know. Oh, it was the car's fault. So
Right.
I think we do have to think about something bigger.
Right. Oke, jadi resikonya
stay clear with your spiritual stay close with love to everyone else, and don't focus on negative and the politics. Focus on yourself.
right. Jadi resikonya dua-duanya juga ada risiko ya. Kalau kena COVID juga resikonya meninggal. Kalau vaksin juga ada beberapa yang meninggal, tapi tidak sebanyak orang yang terkena virus COVID. Gitu. Jadi kita harus fokus untuk mengasihi ya, gitu.
Yeah.
So, you have a motorcycle accident? What do you say? Oh, it was the road. It was the bus. No, it's your time.
Ya, jadi setiap itu ada resikonya. Jadi kita bisa meninggal gara-gara tertabrak mobil, juga bisa.
Focus on your love yourself. Be very close to your spiritual practice. It's important.
Iya. Jadi kita harus fokus ya ke spiritual life kita.
Ya. Jadi jangan nggak usah pusing sama berita-berita yang di luar, fokus untuk memperbesar kapasitas diri. Itu yang saya lakukan juga selama setahun lebih ini. Benar apa enggak berita di luar, saya tidak terlalu peduli, tapi saya memilih untuk berlatih dan berlatih. Rosalinda, thank you very much. Lucia, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Teman-teman
you.
yang masih mau bertanya, kirimkan pertanyaan Anda. So, send your question to Tony before the next week class. It will help Rosa to prepare the content. My first question for Rosalinda is, share your secret. You must has a secret to face
Yes, I
this
do.
situation.
I do have a secret.
Rosalinda will share to many groups of people here next week. So, the secret.
Okay, you asked for the secret. You get it. You'll get it. Good question.
Saya juga mau minta maaf karena mungkin kurang perfect ya translasi saya.
Oh, kalau terlalu perfect malah tidak dimaafkan.
Terima kasih,
Kalau
Lucia.
bagus. Iya,
Oke. Ya, sahabat kelas, demikian acara kita sore ini ya. Kita ketemu lagi minggu depan di waktu yang sama. Untuk pertanyaan bisa japri ya, WA ke saya ya. Oke. Thank you, Miss Rosa.
Thank you, Miss Rosa and Mr. Krishnamurti. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
See you next time.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.